Zenica sits roughly 40 miles north of Sarajevo, a city built on iron and steel production. On this night, it was the backdrop for a winner-take-all qualifier, where the survivor went to the World Cup and the loser faced a 4-year wait for another chance. Italy's national manager, Gennaro Gattuso, set out to decide the match early. He deployed an aggressive tactical setup designed to monopolize possession and squeeze the Bosnian midfield into their own half. 14 minutes in, that pressure yielded a result. Moise Kean picked up a ball outside the box and with his very first touch sent a bending strike around the keeper to give Italy the lead. At this stage, Italy held complete control. They weren't only leading on the scoreboard, they were dictating the physical movement of the match, forcing Bosnia to react to their positioning. That control evaporated on a single misplayed long ball. Defender Alessandro Bastoni was caught flat-footed, leaving him stranded as the last man between a Bosnian attacker and the goal. Bastoni clipped the attacker's legs in full stride. Because there was no other defender to cover the space, the referee had no choice, a straight red card for denying a goal-scoring opportunity. Gattuso immediately pulled his starting striker, Matteo Retegui, off the pitch to bring on another defender. Italy sacrificed their offensive outlet just to keep their defensive line intact. This diagram shows the resulting structural deficit. Removing one player from the midfield forces the remaining teammates to cover 50% more ground to close the same passing lanes, creating persistent gaps that a disciplined opponent can find. Italy effectively stopped trying to build attacks. With over 100 minutes left to play, their singular goal shifted to holding their shape under a state of constant defensive siege. This formation is known as a low block. Italy surrendered the majority of the pitch, pulling every player into their own penalty area to create a dense wall of blue shirts that blocked the path to the net. A low block system relies on the goalkeeper to handle the pressure. By inviting the opponent to shoot from distance or send in constant crosses, you are betting that your keeper can stay perfect for the duration of the match. Gianluigi Donnarumma kept that bet alive. He used his 6'5" frame to pull down high balls and execute 9 high-difficulty saves, repeatedly denying Bosnia the equalizer despite the mounting shot count. However, the low block has a built-in flaw. Because Italy had no forwards high up the pitch to threaten a counterattack, Bosnia could commit every player forward without fear of being caught out of position. While professional teams often use a low block to protect a lead for 10 minutes, sustaining this level of lateral shifting and defensive focus for 100 minutes creates a state of compounding physical strain. On the Bosnian side, the challenge was spatial. With the center of the pitch completely blocked by Italian shirts, they had to find a way to stretch the defense until a gap appeared. They used a wide overload. As this diagram shows, Bosnia pushed their attackers to the extreme edges of the pitch, forcing the compact Italian block to expand horizontally to cover the wings, which pulled the individual defenders away from each other. This strategy targeted a specific weakness noted by Italian legend Giorgio Chiellini, a historical difficulty in defending high-volume crosses and set pieces. Bosnia doubled down on this aerial advantage by substituting in 3 center forwards who stood 6'5". They weren't looking for clever passes, they were looking to win the airspace above the Italian box. The pressure finally broke the line. A cross from the wing found a Bosnian header, and although Donnarumma made the initial parry, the defense was too stretched to clear the rebound. Haris Tabakovic reacted first to poke the ball home. The equalizer resulted from Bosnia's persistence in pulling the defense wide. Tabakovic didn't just find a lucky bounce, he found the specific gap that Bosnia had been widening for the past hour. After extra time failed to produce another goal, the World Cup spot was decided by a penalty shootout. Here, the physiological toll of playing a man down became the deciding factor. After 100 minutes of chasing the ball, the Italian players were operating with heavy legs and diminished motor control. This created a stark contrast at the penalty spot. Bosnia stepped up with the momentum of their successful siege, while the Italian shooters were physically spent. The fatigue showed in the strikes. A veteran skied the opening penalty, an 18-year-old hit the crossbar. Bosnia converted their chances, clinching the win and the trip to the World Cup. In elite football, a red card doesn't just subtract a player from the field. It imposes a physical tax on the remaining 9. that an intelligent opponent can eventually collect.